Hello and welcome back. As we use more and more video conferencing tools at home, in the workplace, to connect to friends, family and our colleagues, more and more development of applications like Zoom, Google Meet, Jitsi, Microsoft Teams are going to come to the surface. Today what I want to talk about is Jitsi. Completely free, completely open source. And that's quite important. You can get to it at the above URL at jitsi.org/jitsi-meet. There's also an additional website that gives you a bit more information about it where you can actually start the meetings, but we'll come on to that in a moment. Jitsi, as I mentioned, is completely free, open source platform. It provides functionality such as dial in, connecting with friends, picture in picture, multiple people on the screen, blurring of backgrounds, and we'll cover all this in a minute. Now, let's go through some of the features. So we're going to go to a URL here. We've got, this is the Jitsi Meet URL. This is how we start a Jitsi meeting. So as you can see on this screen here, we've got a little logo, takes you to their main page. You can see it, you can get it on mobile, on Android and on iOS on the App Store. And you can also integrate it in quite easily into Slack if you're a Slack user. At the moment, I am not, but that will soon be coming. And of course, we've got all our social media links down there to follow Jitsi on social media of choice. Here is the settings button. If you click on settings, this is where you can connect and disconnect your calendar of choice. Now, as you see, I just disconnected my Google Calendar, but that's not a problem. It's quite simple. You sign in with the single sign-on function within Google, and then your calendar is therefore connected. You've also got more options at the top here where you can set your language of choice. You've got our profile where you can set your name, and also devices where you can set what devices you're actually going to use. Now, as you can see, I've got my audio output here. I can play a test sound. So we know our speakers are working. We've also got the microphone. You can see you can select your different microphone options. And here you've got the option to set your camera. Now, it doesn't take the live feed by default. Anyway, I'm going to go and I'm going to connect to Microsoft Live Cam Cinema, which is my webcam. So as I connect to that, you can see me and you can see my very busy workspace, which is great. So I've set our settings up now for Jitsi. So starting a meeting now couldn't be any easier. Really couldn't. You can type in your meeting, what you want your meeting to about. We'll call it a Jitsi test or CK. What we're going to do now, and then you can press go and that will start your meeting. But at the calendar section by here, we're not really getting our full benefit. If you look at the recent section, it'll show all the sessions you've recently had. So I've been doing a few testing with ChromaCam and FaceRig and things like that to see if that can be incorporated into Jitsi. But if you had some options in your calendar, then they would appear here, okay, like meeting requests and so forth. So it's a nice little simplistic, elegant interface, I think, that takes all the hustle and bustle out of it, of what you might be getting with Meet and Zoom and Slack. All fantastic products. This is free. Okay, so we're going to start our meeting. We're going to click on Go. We've set all our device settings. And here we are, we're in the lobby of the meeting. It's showing the default feed, so unfortunately you've got my ugly face. It's in a web browser, there's no client to install, so you can, you know, minimize it, drag it around your screen as you wish, because it is just in a web browser. And it says, look, it sounds like your microphone's working properly, which is great stuff, because how many times you've been in a call, wrong device has been set because you've been doing something else, and all of a sudden no one can hear you, and don't you look the silly person. Anyway, you've also got the option here as well. Let's go back to a full screen again to have a look at your devices. If there is a problem, you can see you've got a little level here, microphone level, that shows you that you are talking and it can hear you, which is great. The speakers, which you want your speakers, where you want people to hear you from as well. You can do some tests as well. So I've got my default speakers set. And then of course you've got your video feeds. Now I found this to be a little bit spotty. Now it's a bit spotty now, you see, because it's not showing my feeds here and the names of the feeds, unfortunately. Really what we should be having is Microsoft Livecam at the top, then another icon for something else, and all the other feeds that are down here. So I found that to be quite sporadic. And if you start messing and just clicking icons, doesn't tend to work, and you're left with a black screen. So people can see your amazing face and your amazing stuff that you have behind you. Anyway, so the next thing I want to talk about here is join meeting. Now it's giving you, right, the option to join the meeting in the box here. Okay, join without audio if you just want to listen in. So it's great for streaming, great for casting sort of thing. If you want people just to stream and cast to you. However, this copy and share a meeting link is great. Click that, goes to your clipboard, into your email solution of choice, paste, invite people in. Couldn't be any easier, right? I know, it's so elegant. So we're going to join our meeting. Here we go, and we've joined. As you can see, I've got all my browser tabs at the top. You know, there's the channel, there's a video as well, but we'll come on to that in a minute. Again, I've got my Jitsi stuff at the top, and my meeting tab is at the top right there. At the top, you can see I've given the option to invite more people. You can click on that. Share the meeting invite. You've got also more numbers if you want people to dial in via convention telephones. And you've got the US, UK, France, Germany, Netherlands, Spain, Canada, Australia, Brazil, Japan, and Switzerland. All these will dial in. And it's given you a pin that is spot on for your meeting. Okay, so far so good. And again, you're given the option to get the link. And you can also share the meeting invitation across, not only copying it in and your choice of email, going to your default email location, going to Gmail, Google email, Outlook email, and Yahoo email. Okay, at the top now again you can see I've joined, collaboration kernel, there it is. If other people have joined, I haven't got anybody at that moment to join with me, I would have their icons down here, and you can change that format, but we'll come on to that in a minute. And also you've got the option to throttle your viewing definition of your video. So you can effectively change this to different definition if you're having problems, if you're in a low bandwidth area. Okay, so other functionality as well, sharing of screens, right? So you can click share your screen. No problems there. You've got the option to raise and lower your hands. Great stuff having a meeting. You don't want people just talking over each other. That can be really distracting. And you've got the option to open up a chat window. Hello. And you've got a limited list of emojis. Let's have a beer and put that there as well. Okay, going to the center bottom of the screen, we can see we've got our microphone feeds that we should all really be familiar with right now, because they are iconic and the same and like an industry standard across all of the tools that we've been using. However, you know, this is a web-based tool as well, so you are going to get better experiences, I think, from some of the more installed applications. But like I say, Jitsi is free. So, and also you've got our option to have our video feed, which look, is still not displaying any icons, which is an issue, not a problem. It did give a nice little pictograph of what each icon was, and we'll see if we can demonstrate that later. Moving on, we've got the option to toggle our tile view as well. So you can see I've got, I'd have all my tiles of people who are moving in here with the person talking in the middle. We've also got the option down here again to invite people. Okay, and also we've got security options. Now security is a big thing, right? We understand security. You can add a password to your meeting so you don't get any undesirables joining your meeting. There was a comment in the UK news where the UK government, the Cabinet Office, was holding Zoom meetings at the beginning of the pandemic, and people were just bombing the meetings. people were bombing meetings in local government, council meetings, that sort of thing, because people didn't know and understand the interface. Putting a password on there as well, there's always going to be somebody, right, you know, who lets the password go, but you can change the password per meeting, and that does give you a level of security as well. Plus there's a security as well that Jitsi gives you. So we're running fast and loose with no security, because it's only us here, let's face it. So that was security options, and then we've got the 3 buttons at the bottom here, more actions, the three buttons that we call the ellipsis. If we click on that, you can see we've got an awful lot of other sections here. You can see that this is the options for me. We can manage our video quality, low definition, standard definition or high definition. We'll just say okay to that because we're high definition, and why not for the purpose of this video. But imagine if you have people who are out and about on mobile devices. It's the same client, right? You can throttle bandwidth so it's easier for them if anyone's having any problems. Back to the ellipsis, we've got view in full screen mode. There you go, takes things out of the way. And then you can also exit your full screen mode. You can start a live stream. Okay, enter a live stream key here from somebody. You know, you can put whatever you want in. All right, and start a live stream. Really good for using things like YouTube, Twitch, that sort of stuff. That gives you a live stream key. Cool stuff, right? The key that I had put in, false key. But you know, you put your own key in, you can find from YouTube or from Twitch or your streaming platform of choice. Hit live stream, and then it's really good for doing webinars and things like that. So, you know, quite good. A good option, especially for somewhere that's free. You can start a recording, and this is really good, right? Now, to record to the cloud on the paid platforms that we've got, and as I mentioned, Jitsi is free. They do charge you a premium, okay? It's for premium users. Now, with this solution here, we click on Start Recording, and you can upload it directly to Dropbox. How cool is that? That is really thought forward. You know, sign into Dropbox, away you go, up goes your recording, and then once you've got your recording, you can manipulate it or upload it at your leisure to your platform of choice. So I really like that. Also, you can share a YouTube video, and you can put in a link to a video. So what's really good about this as well, you're not relying on your speakers. So what I'll do, I'll turn my speakers off. I've just realized I'm now putting the link of a video from the collaboration kernel on basically basics of Gmail into the window, and we're going to share that. And so, like I said, we're going to then share this video. What we're going to do is we're going to click in here. I've got my link from a YouTube video. I'm going to pop it in, and then all of a sudden there it is as well. Now, you don't get sound, you've got to rely on your speakers. This video we're going to deal with a number of topics, which is a bit of a shame. However, not that much of a shame, because, you know, I mean, you do get the option with Zoom, and you get the option with other platforms such as Google Meet, where you can cast the service, like I mentioned, and you do get the full video experience. Like I say, this is free. All right, this is totally free. And it's a good little option as well. Shame it doesn't give the sound as well, or I couldn't find out how to give the sound. There may be an option there to use a virtual audio cable and stream the sound that way, but I think we're going to have to try and find out. But that's going to be outside the scope of this video, because this is all about Jitsi. Now that's a really good facility as well. You haven't got to cast it to a certain device like what you have in Meet. You get the sound, and it's good if you want to say to people, hey, I've got a video to watch here, look, you know. And there it is down the bottom. You can get rid of it, you can bring it in, you know. These things are still there, and you can flip back and forth to it as well, should you want to. Okay, so quite a good option. Does give us all the other good stuff from interface. To get out of this view, just click on the icon at the top, and I'll flip you back to your meeting. Okay, more options. What have we got? We've got blur my background. Now, this works, but you know, here's the thing with this. It does use up an awful lot of processing power and bandwidth for your picture, which I shall demonstrate. Blur my background. So here we have, I've got my busy background behind me. Might want people looking at the fact that I've got models behind me or whatever, a little bit of privacy. You know, as we're all working from home as well, having a tidy workspace is obviously a bit of a challenge. And you're not in a nice pristine office environment. But then again, you haven't got people photobombing as well, all depending where you're working. So blur my background. Here we go. It's in beta. Is it going to do it? Yes, it is. Took a little while for it to work out, and you can see I am losing major frames per second. Now, I've got a 40 megabit per second upload link on my Wi-Fi. Let's just turn that off, because you get the idea. Okay, so I don't know whether it's, I mean, the PC can handle it with other applications. It must be what's going on, the transfer between us and the Jitsi servers. To be fair, I'm kind of done with all the blurred backgrounds, and a lot of other people have said that as well. They're kind of done with it. How many people have you seen floating through space, or in the bridge of the Millennium Falcon, or on the scene of Grange Hill, or, you know, on a beach? We're obviously not on a beach because there's a chair behind you and you're wearing a t-shirt, you know, and all that sort of stuff, and it's raining outside. So blurred backgrounds, it is a facility if you want to hide your background, if you're in a position, perhaps in a public place as well, you want to do that, but be very conscious of the resource usage as well. So back to the ellipsis, what's next? We've got our options for settings. Now we've got the devices as well. It says camera permissions not granted. So we know they are. All this should be. We know it is. So it's obviously a problem here. Profile, we went through this at the beginning. Link to our calendar. And we got the option of more. Now this is quite good. It's quite interesting. We didn't get this beforehand. You only do it when you're in the meeting. As a moderator, everyone can start as muted. Some paid services don't do this. Everyone starts hidden, so not everyone's picture is tiled on the screen. You can do that. All right. Everyone follows me. I honestly don't know, but I'll find out. Okay, so you can say okay for that. Everyone starts muted, I think, is a good option. Good video conferencing etiquette. Then you've got the option to mute everybody, which you can do, and you can look at speaker stats. So the speaker time, yeah, great. Speaker stats are there working. You'd have speaker stats and stats for other people. So you could see if anyone's having any of the problems as well on your meeting. You can say, hey, you know, turn your microphone off. You're getting an awful lot of stuff. You've got view shortcuts as well. Now, keyboard shortcuts are a great way of saving time within Jitsi and any other application as well. So these keyboard shortcuts, you know, show or hide thumbnails, mute or unmute your microphone, all can be done via a keyboard if you're not so au fait with the interface. Now, this is using a PC or a computer, obviously not on a mobile device. That would be a little bit different, wouldn't it? Because you're using a different client. But some of these things can save you time if you want to use them. So worthwhile having a look. Perhaps having a little cheat card if you're going to be a Jitsi user. And then finally, we've got help. So if you go to the help section here, you've got documentation on the site. It's very much a work in progress. They can show you the architecture, what's going on with security, and an FAQ, and a brief user guide as well. So let's have a look at some of these advanced options. Oh, yeah, look. There you go. Not much there. Jitsi Meet for Google Calendar. There's not much in there, but let's face it, we're all getting very much au fait with applications such as Jitsi, Zoom, Meet, Microsoft Teams. Hell, Skype for Business is still rocking around until that gets finally retired. So like I say, it's a great free application, and it's a good alternative to the 45-minute lockdown that Zoom has put on people. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this quick, brief look around the Jitsi interface and some of the features. Quite disappointed that some of these features weren't working, so I couldn't, for example, show the video feeds that were here. Everything has access to the Chrome browsers, so otherwise you wouldn't be seeing the video or hearing this sound. which is quite interesting, especially when we went down here and we went to settings and it says permission not granted. You know, that is very, very interesting. You know, player test sound, not even that is working when we know it worked before. So a few things to go on. I mean, it's very much free, it's in development, like I said, but it does give you a pretty good meeting experience. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Check back for more videos in this series.